Salak and Boudica to this. That's Martin's favorite, and the Green Man, and on and on. So it's a lot of the movie will be made digitally in that regard.
You know, and Greg, there's so many places to start with a movie like this. When you were coming in, tell us about your sort of priorities and maybe some of the things you didn't want to happen as far as this first film.
Yeah, well, when we were first breaking down the mythology of it, it just seemed like the natural place to start with the Silver Age character, Hal Jordan. It all sort of seemed to kind of go outward from there, and then you're just searching through all the comic books of your youth to find the best villains that you can find and all the characters that you would want to see. I think that was the guys I wrote the draft with, Michael Green and Mark Guggenheim, who I think are here. We were just kids in a candy shop, really pouring through and putting all our favorite moments in, and we realized we had enough at that point for a few movies and not just for one. And kept pushing stuff off and off so that the audience could go on a real journey on the first one, but not necessarily, we can't give away everything at the beginning.
That's fantastic. And then Jeff, I think when this property started moving forward toward Hollywood at different points, we heard a lot of different ways that the movie might have ended up, talking about some of the past projects. And then as far as you're involved, tell me, how did you feel when you heard about some of the other ideas, like Green Lantern as a comedy, or maybe some of the other things?
Well, one of the very first, when I first worked for Richard Donner, one of the first things we talked about was Green Lantern, and that was about 10 years ago, and somebody, one of the executives who's no longer there, said, "Can we do the movie without the ring?" And right then I thought, there's never going to be a Green Lantern movie. So 10 years later, to see it evolve and maybe misinterpreted as a comedy at one point, and to get to hear and see someone like Martin Campbell and the cast here tackle Green Lantern with the respect and the power, it's a dream come true.
That's fantastic. And then Ryan, tell us a little bit about the shoot. You guys have been in New Orleans. I know it's kind of sticky hot.
Yeah. Yesterday's weather report was actual fire. It's a warm place. I mean, it's tough to shoot some of the action scenes outside. I mean, it's but to be down there in Louisiana, it's been such a state that's been pretty embattled as of late. It's actually fantastic to be there and to be bringing this kind of attention to that place. And I think there's nobody here that would disagree with that. But they've been so welcoming for us there, and it's just been an amazing experience. We have about 3 weeks of shooting left to go down there, so God willing, we'll get through it. Yeah.
I know on the home front, your wife is a Marvel character, and I think we're all wondering, does that cause any sort of domestic strife or tension?
We've had some strongly worded dinners. I said this before, but we've probably got a lot more comic books lying around than your average married couple. That's for sure, but maybe not in this room. I don't know. You must hands down. Yeah.
And Blake, tell us a little bit about your character. Carol Ferris through the years has changed. There's different versions of her. For you and this film, what are some of how would you frame her as a person?
Well, Carol Ferris, she's such an exciting woman to play because oftentimes the man is saving the woman, but she gets to save Hal a few times. And they're a bit of rivals. They have this past, this love, but they also they're competitors. So to be able to spar, just like verbally, and then also to be shooting these scenes where we're in these fighter pilot planes. I mean, that was pretty cool. I was so excited. I felt like I was going to be the coolest aunt ever. That was the best part of getting this job. Was calling my nephews. And, this film is so unique in that, there's something that you can actually do in real life, like pilot a plane that these young boys or whoever can look up to, but then you also see them in outer space, flying around. It's just been a wonderful project to be a part of, and to be able to be a strong woman who then becomes a villain later. I can't wait to kick his butt.
Fantastic. And Peter, Hector Hammond isn't pure evil in this film. He's a guy that is pulled down a particular path by what happens to him. That probably makes him more interesting for you as an actor.
Yeah, I was very interested in the fact that he had his own origin story in the movie, and to be one way and become another way. I think a lot of times you get what he becomes is always just kind of an expression of what he had inside of him all along. They're not like two different things necessarily. But I don't know, I remember telling Martin quite early on that I felt like he was the kind of kid that licked the battery or went up onto the roof with a coat hanger during a thunderstorm, stuff like that, you know, just to see what stuff felt like and looked like. And that was always kind of the most important thing to me. He's a biologist and particularly interested in like extremophiles, animals that live at the bottom of the ocean in the Mariana Gulch, or even just penguins, as a way of understanding what might exist elsewhere. And of course, he gets this opportunity to see up close in the movie.
You know, we're going to take some questions from the audience in a second, and I'd like to remind you all, please make sure your questions end in a question mark. No proposals, no pitches, no threats. You know, hey, how you doing? We'll go ahead. I didn't realize it was there. Okay, go ahead.
Hello, C.T. McLean here. My question is to Peter Sarsgaard. What got you hooked to this project and to the character that you're playing?
What got me hooked? Well, I came in one day and talked to Martin, and Martin told me what the story was, and quite smartly told me the story through the eyes of my character. You know, it's a great way to first see something, and you know, it just felt like an amazing arc, a great journey for a character to start out one way and end another way, and that's all you really ever want.
Hey, how you doing?
How's it going? Yeah, I think the Green Lantern Corps is such a large cast of characters, and they're all so fantastic. How did you pick the focus for the film? What characters to feature for the story?
Great, Martin.
Somebody?
I mean, it's, you know, the characters they really focused on, Kilowog, Tomar-Ray, Sinestro, those characters make sense in the history of Hal Jordan, Kilowog being his drill sergeant, Sinestro's mentor, Tomar-Ray's spiritual guide. And then beyond that, it was really up to the production team picking the characters like Stel and Green Man and Biz that they thought were cool. And they're all cool, so we're all cool.
The Green Lantern from Sector 79210.
Brightest day to you all. For Jeff Johns, could this be the beginning of a shared DC universe on film? Thank you.
There's going to be a lot of DC projects coming up, but I can't talk about them here. Maybe.
Hello.
This question is for Mark Strong. Will your character in this movie kick ass?
Say that again, sorry.
Will your character in this movie kick ass?
He certainly will, yeah. As Al's mentor, we have an interesting time together, because I feel like Sinestro feels like it's his duty to train him up, because he doesn't believe that a human can possibly be a member of the Corps. So I shall do my best to, as you say, kick ass.
Hello.
My face is so big. Okay, my question's for Ryan Reynolds. Did the production company come to you, or did you go to them? And my friend Anna wanted to say hi.
Hi, Anna. But I'll answer the question, Bart. I was asked if I wanted to have a meeting with Martin Campbell.